Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video I'm going to talk about the things that Google needs to take seriously to help the Google Pixel lineup to grow and build a loyal customer base that can stick with the brand for years. If you are using a Pixel phone, you will definitely relate with what I'm going to say, and if you are planning to buy a new one, you need to consider these points before taking your decision. So let's find out what are these problems. And the number one problem on my list is the complete ignorance for the Middle East and North Africa region. Since the Pixel 1 till now, which is 7 years worth of products, Google didn't launch an official store in a single country in the region just yet. And because of this, people have to wait longer to get their hands on the device, they have to pay more, and when they get it, there is no warranty. On top of this, there is no 5G or voice over LTE support, and also some software features are only exclusive to some countries in Europe or North America, like the car crash detection, call screening, and the Pixel Watch ECG feature. And when you take a look at other brands like Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, and a lot more, you will see they have official stores in most of the countries. And if they don't have one, they will at least give you an authorized reseller and service provider that will deliver a similar experience. So I'm not sure why Google is taking that long since the Pixel 1, and till now they didn't decide to expand in the region. So I hope they will revisit their decision soon. The second problem is the lack of consistency in the apps and the software. So let me show you some examples. Starting with the third-party apps, when you take a look at Facebook, you will see a black bar at the bottom of the screen. But when you open Instagram, which is another app from the same company, you won't see the same problem, and the app looks a lot nicer. You will also see the same inconsistency in the apps made by Google. So if you're going to take a look here at YouTube app, you won't see the same Material You bar at the bottom of the screen, like the one you get with Google Photos, for example. Another example is Google Fit doesn't have Material You widgets while all other apps do. Google Chrome does have the same black bar at the bottom of the screen like the Facebook app, but you won't see it in other apps like the Play Store, Messages, Photos, and more. The second problem in the consistency is the features don't get released to everyone at the same time. So let me show you an example. In Google Messages on my 7 Pro, when I tap and hold on the message to react, I have a plus button that will allow me to choose a different emoji from the ones already suggested. But when I do the same action on my 6A, I don't get the same button, even though both apps are on the same version. And you will notice the same behavior in pretty much all Google apps. So I think Google needs to take serious actions to unify the experience across the software features and apps, because if you're going to take a look at Apple, when they release a new feature, everyone can use it on the same day, and they also force the developers to use the latest technologies, which is something you will lack on Pixel phones. The third topic I want to talk about is the camera issues. While the Pixel phones do have amazing cameras in general with a lot of software features to enhance your experience like the Magic Eraser, Photo Unblur, Face Unblur, and Motion Photos, but there are some major issues that Google left behind for years, and they could be the reason why people might consider other brands over the Pixel because of them. The first one is the tremendous amount of noise you get when you record videos in mid to low light using any lens on any Pixel phone. I experienced this issue since the Pixel 2 XL, and until now I didn't see any action taken by Google to decrease the amount of noise in videos. And based on my previous camera comparisons between Pixel phones, iPhones, and other Chinese phones like the Honor Magic 4 Pro, for example, none of them suffer from the same problem. The second problem in the camera is the overheating issues when recording 4K videos. Based on my experience, the 7 Pro didn't exceed the 9 minutes while recording 4K videos indoors, and it only recorded for a few minutes under direct sunlight before overheating. And if we're going to compare it to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, I managed to get up to 30 minutes and more under direct sunlight without any problems. Maybe it's because of the less powerful CPU, so it produces more heat to do the same action, or Google need to look for different ways to release the heat. The third problem with the camera is the 2x portraits. They always come out over sharpened to a point that you don't like the way you look in the photo, and I faced this problem since the 6 Pro, so I hope Google will work on it very soon. And the last problem is the cinematic and action video modes are only limited to 1080p resolution, but if you're going to compare this to the 14 Pro Max, you can record cinematic videos at 4K and action videos at 2.8K. So most of the issues I mentioned are related to the videos, only the 2x portraits is the issue with photos. But if Google dropped it when it comes to videos, people might easily consider iPhones to get a better experience. Topic number 4 is the customer support, and I think Google's customer support is one of the worst I've ever seen. They will always advise you to do 4 steps regardless what type of issue you report. Step number 1 is to restart the phone, clear the cache, factory reset the device, and if still not working, you need to replace it. And most of the time I solve the issues with my own troubleshooting steps without the need to factory reset the device, so I think Google needs a more knowledgeable customer support with more solutions for the issues we have. And having a poor customer support could be easily one of the reasons why you would consider a different brand. And number 5 is the messaging experience, and I'm talking specifically about RCS messaging. This could be a problem impacting all Android phones, not only Pixels, but if you're gonna get a Pixel phone, you will be using an Android, so you are impacted as well. I think Google took a lot of steps to dominate the RCS messaging in the Android world like Apple did with iMessage in iOS, but till now they are not there yet. And I think this is happening for 2 reasons. First, the branding. When you take a look at the name, it's called RCS messaging, which is too technical for an average person to understand what does RCS messaging really means. But when you compare that to the name iMessage, it sounds a lot better to me. Number 2, it lacks some important features that you will find in other messaging apps like the self-destructing messages, the ability to unsend, and finally, some fun features like the Memoji and the Animoji in iMessage. So if you are an iOS user for years and you want to switch to a Pixel, you won't find a great alternative on Android to give you the same experience. Problem number 6 is the unexpected sudden decisions that Google take, and one of these decisions is the removal of the face unlock from the Pixel 4 onwards. And that was the first time to see a newer product with worse specs. So if you take a look at the Pixel 5, you will see it has a fingerprint sensor on the back, same as the Pixel 2 and 3. Instead of having an improved face unlock as you would expect in the newer model. And then Google decided to move to the optical fingerprint under the display with the Pixel 6, and a lot of people had issues with it, and then we had to wait for a year to get an improved experience with the Pixel 7. And as per the leaks, Google is working on a device that will come with an ultrasonic fingerprint. So I'm not sure why Google didn't use the ultrasonic fingerprint from the beginning and avoided all these problems. So this weird behavior of moving back and forth between things make people less loyal to the brand. So if we're going to compare this to Apple and Samsung, you will see Apple is using Face ID since the iPhone 10 onwards, and Samsung is sticking to the ultrasonic fingerprint since the Galaxy S10. And none of them ever released a product with worse specs than the previous model. So that's pretty much it for today. Those are all the problems that I think Google needs to take seriously to have a higher market share in the smartphone industry and also build a loyal customer base over time. So please let me know in the comments what do you think. But for now, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.